Okay, so you're Seth Olnick? Is that how you pronounce it, Seth?
Yeah, Olenek.
Olnick. Oh, got to put another little vowel in there.
Yeah, exactly. Olenek.
Olnick. I'm trying to learn Chinese, man, and I can't pronounce anything.
No, no, no. Good luck. Good luck.
Right. But I mean, by the way, I mean, the short version is you did a Kickstarter project,
Yeah.
crowdfunding, right? I
Uh-huh.
got 30 grand for your book. How
Yeah.
terrific!
Yeah.
Wow.
It's shocking still. It's been a week and I'm still like trying to absorb it all.
Wow! Well, I mean, I see it's a great book. I mean, it's all about comics, right? So you're a photographer, and,
Mhm.
and you're really documenting like the last 10 years of comedy in America.
Pretty much. So, I mean, I set out to just shoot some of the comedians that I really loved, and then it kind of ballooned over the last 6 years into this, 200 plus comedians, and
Wow, 200.
oh yeah, 220 currently, but with another probably 15 or so to go.
Ah.
More than anyone would have expected.
Wow. I think it's wonderful. I mean, photography. I think the best part of photography is people. Doing people. And that's what's so cool because I think, like, even when people take pictures of me, what I'm looking at is that you as a photographer find something about me that I didn't know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's part of our job.
Yeah. I mean, I had
Something
no
inside
idea.
out.
Yeah, and that's what I love pictures because you, as a photographer, I was looking at some of your stuff. I mean, you see stuff in these people that we don't see, and you're able to do this. I mean, you're like a soul searcher.
Yeah, and stealer.
What is it?
A soul stealer as well.
A soul stealer. Yeah, and you're illuminating. And you're sharing, and that's what I think is the beauty of what you do and what you have to offer.
Appreciate it.
So now what I'm really trying to do is get other people to do what you did. So if you're maybe not a famous photographer or like you are, because you do magazines and stuff like that, a project, to do Kickstarter. I mean, that's what's so neat about Kickstarter. Anybody, where else would you have gotten 30 grand to do this? Yeah.
Yeah, nowhere.
Nowhere, right? See, neat. And so what advice could you give to people who are thinking, hey, I want to use one of these crowdfunding things?
I mean, the first thing I would say is do your research. Do a lot of research, figure out what other people have done that's similar to what you want to do. And actually, one of the big problems for me originally was just kind of mentally getting past that first step of actually doing it. Like, you see other people doing Kickstarter projects. And you're like, oh, well, they probably have experience doing these things.
I see. Like, I'm not as good as they are. What are you, Jewish or something? Or what? I'm Catholic. I got the same problem.
Oh, yeah. No, I have the Jewish, neuroses. No, but seriously, like, you see all these people, a lot of them are making tons of money, and, like, you're like, there's no way I'm going to be able to do that. So you have to get past that mental block.
Mm-hmm.
But once you're past that mental block, you start looking at what other people are doing, and you see what works and what doesn't work. And that's what I did. I looked at what other photographers who were putting out books on Kickstarter were doing, and I saw, the ones that failed, and I saw the ones that succeeded, and I tried to, take the elements from the ones that succeeded.
And what were the elements you felt that were, your success or helped with your success?
Well, for Kickstarter specifically, it's just presenting the people with the rewards that they offer. Something that would appeal to the masses. And I kind of took it from like, what would I want? If I were going onto Kickstarter and somebody had this book up there, what would I want to get? And honestly, the most popular thing was the book.
Really?
which makes me happy. So yeah. So, figuring that out. Also, it's very important on Kickstarter to have a video where you're actually talking to the audience. And, I read through they have this whole like Kickstarter school thing on their website. So you look at things, they give you advice, and so I took their advice. I did the video. I spoke to the people. I was very honest about what I was looking for, what I was doing. why I had to come to Kickstarter, and it's basically because every publisher pretty much turned me down.
Wow.
Yeah, because nobody has done anything like this.
I see.
So, and that's how publishing works.
Yeah.
They need to see that somebody else has done it.
Oh, I know. I've been that far.
So, I was very honest with the people, and, in the end, it's the work that spoke for itself, and people liked it enough to want to buy it. And, I can't be thankful enough for a site like Kickstarter, and there are others as well, that offer crowdfunding. I was just drawn to that one because a lot of the things that I had seen in the past that I actually gave money to were on Kickstarter.
So you've been a contributor.
Yeah, absolutely.
To other folks.
Yeah.
Now,
I've done like 15. I've given money to like 15 Kickstarter.
No kidding. Wow, good for you. I mean, do you go on Kickstarter and browse and say, "Hey, what can I throw money at today?" Or
I every now and then will do that, but honestly, the thing that drew me to it were certain like tech blogs that were talking about things that were on there for my phone.
I see. Apps and
360-degree camera for my phone, and different things like that. So that's what drew me to the site originally. Otherwise, I wouldn't have known about it.
So you go to Kickstarter to look for ideas that may be helpful to you or
Absolutely.
Whatever.
Absolutely, or I see something that I know a friend of mine might be into that, and share that with my friends.
Wow. Now, how about the marketing aspect? Did you feel insecure about that in the beginning, or
no? One thing that I actually do feel comfortable with is pushing myself out to the masses.
Oh, right.
I'm very much a go out and talk to people kind of guy, make connections, and because I've been working on this for 6 years, I've met a lot of people over that time, not just the comedians that I've been photographing, but people who run blogs.
I see.
People just in the world, in the comedy world, but more, tangentially. And so, I went to a lot of them and said, hey, I'm launching my Kickstarter. Can you write about it on your blog? And, a lot of people have a PR person that they pay thousands of dollars to. I didn't have the money to put towards a PR person, so I basically acted as a one-man PR machine.
So you went out and plugged the sucker to other blogs that help you get more,
You have to be shameless.
Yeah. If you don't ask, you don't get anything in this country, do you?
And some of the bigger sites, I would go to, honestly, I would write to them as if I was my PR person.
I see. Hey, Seth has a great idea here. You may be interested.
And sometimes it worked.
Yeah, well, who the heck knows what works? Nobody knows.
Exactly. I mean, it's very much like trial and error. Just you have to be willing to go to as many sources as you can, and you have to have this stuff planned in advance.
I see.
I would not launch a Kickstarter without knowing what the plan is to actually get the word out.
So in other words, you have to have not only your product planned out, but your marketing strategy to use Kickstarter once it's there. Because the clock ticks and...
30 days goes by in a flash.
Really? And that's what it is, 30 days only?
Well, you get to choose. And I think you could do as few days as you want or as many, but they say 30 days is generally... Because it's not so long that people see it and then they're like, I'll
do it later,
30 days, and then they forget about it. But it's also not so short that I wouldn't have time to go out and let enough people know.
So it sounds like the biggest thing that you're really advising, other people want to do this, is really homework, right?
Oh, absolutely. And I'll be honest again, I'm not the best at researching things ahead of time. Probably the only thing that I researched as much as this would be before I bought my flat screen TV.
Wow. Well, that's saying something.
Yeah.
That means your thesis was a lot less than
some people are looking for $250 on Kickstarter. Some are looking for $1,000. When you're looking for $30,000, for me, that's one of the biggest things in my life so far. Like as far as
huge. I mean, just think if you're on what's that site? Kiva, is that it for third world country? Or you could feed a village on it.
Yeah, absolutely. Kiva, and then Indiegogo.
Right, all these things. No, I just think so. So it was your first effort, right? and you had no experience doing this thing. And you were embarrassed to ask for help kind of person.
Well, not really. I did know somebody who had just finished their something. They were doing a documentary, and they just finished a successful Kickstarter.
I see.
And so I did go to him, and I asked, what advice. I actually showed it to him before I even launched my.
I see. Right. Well, I mean, I don't mean that kind of help in your community. I mean, the
getting
public,
money, getting money,
the begging, things your mother said not to do.
Exactly. Yeah. Don't
That's
ask.
what I can't get over. Sort of like in our country, at least for me, all the things that make me more or less popular when I was a lot on TV were things my parents told me never to do in public.
Right. Well, things change over the years. And, they say don't talk about politics or religion at the dinner table. Right. What's the most talked about thing at the dinner table?
Well, Seth, you're a joy, and the book looks terrific. I love comics, and I'm sure this whole country does. And I'm sure now some publisher, when you become successful, they're going to be saying, God damn, I knew I should have done that.
Exactly. And that right there was the... That's the cherry on top, hopefully.
Absolutely. All alive is that. Well, thank you again for sharing.
Thanks a lot, Matthew. Take care.